this Andrew Tate situation, and I was listening to O. Jackson talk about it. And for a minute, I didn't even believe that Andrew Tate was arrested. I thought this was some sort of swatting that just released, that there was a tweet that was put out. I can't remember who at the moment, but in this tweet, it talked about how Andrew Tate, someone said that, and there was a lot of pressure from the United States of American government to, there's a guy riding real slow next to me. They got the rental, they got the rental Tesla, so they're trying to figure out the map, I'm sure. But Andrew Tate was told that, they were saying how the U.S. government was putting massive pressure on the Romanian government, and they wanted the Romanian government to arrest Andrew Tate, whether he was in. I did a video that did Kevin Samuels' death have to do with like our reality having to take him out? Like our reality had to take Kevin Samuels out. I saw what Vice put out, where this woman appeared to be a woman. I don't know. They showed just like the stockings of a leg, punched them in the arm really hard, and Andrew punched him in the arm really hard, and this power to work paying these women above minimum wage men, because the girls are just there, looking all cute in their rooms on cam, but as far as money, and the girls were just so lazy, and they just never wanted to work. They always wanted a day off. As soon as they got a little bit of money, they were ready to just like not work for the rest of the week. And that it was his staff that kept everybody interested at all times. And there was never any. And now we have a young lady who says she worked for him and she was only getting 15, especially if you put in New York. It's if you're the pizza man, you get $15 an hour, which is 6 days a week, will make you $1,500. And most of them always wanted to be paid under the table. No one wanted to be no one wanted to do a W. Everyone wanted to be. I hated that. I used to tell singing, but no. And I digress on that. But there's a woman who's come forward, and this is why he's still arrested. And O'Shea Duke Jackson just did a show, and I want to play his show. And fair use. Let's play it. Let's see what goes on here.
Less than a year ago, in May, we all saw the passing of Kevin Samuels, one of the greatest Black YouTubers on the platform and the greatest YouTuber in the manosphere community, pass away. And with him passing away, we got to see the hatred that people had for Kevin Samuels. It wasn't about what he did prior, or him cursing people out, or him threatening women. It was for him having an opinion, pretty much being a consultant, a design specialist, a fashion guru. That's what Kevin Samuels was. Wasn't too opulent, but documentary on him, or was trying to bring him down as the next guy we're going to talk about. But we saw the hatred that American women had for Kevin Samuels. But to be fair, Kevin Samuels had a lot of American women. Let's talk about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's a little different. Now, they're both saying similar things. Andrew Tate a little bit more aggressively. He's more opulent with his lifestyle. And again, he says things that maybe you should keep to yourself. Although I believe, the oppression of men's rights and what men want and things like that, those things are true. But the difference between Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels is their profession, that either are what they were tied to. Kevin Samuels, full-time YouTube content creator. Andrew Tate, doesn't care about YouTube because he's already rich. How did he get rich? The webcam industry. Now, unfortunately, I had the opportunity to see an exclusive episode on. Now, we can't play the particular clip, what happened on Vice, but the name of that clip that's going viral is called Exclusive. Women allege certain types of abuse by Andrew Tate. And why I can't play that clip, I want to give a shout out to the Festify YouTube channel because they did an awesome job on breaking what this was down. I'll play a little bit of that, and then we're going to come back.
Don't look in that room because our kidnap victims are in that room.
Correct. Andrew Tate is accused of very serious crimes against women. I wanted to speak out today on a Vice exclusive. I cannot even poke it out on Andrew Tate. And it's very interesting because this man that is sitting, interviewing and listening to this woman was actually grilled on Andrew Tate's podcast for around 20 minutes straight. And they're actually bringing out that documentary in a couple of days, and you can see Andrew Tate going at them in this footage as well, which is absolutely crazy. We're going to get the full story of behind the scenes. Now, this man who was on the podcast quiet as a mouse has been grilling Tate lately. He replied to the story saying, I like Pizzagate better than the last one, after Romanian authorities had arrested him and it was alleged about the pizza box, and said rare Greta Thunberg W after she mocked Andrew Tate with that tweet.
What's going on is that Andrew Tate, he put out a tweet right before he was arrested, a day and a half, 2 days before he was arrested, bragging about his 32 cars, and he was calling out Greta Thunberg. She's the teenage climate activist. She's into believing and pushing that global warming and climate. No, it's no longer global warming. They don't use that word anymore. They use climate change, because global warming would mean more like, the earth is heating up. I remember when the vice president, that was part of his thing he came out with, that was Bill Clinton's vice president. And what's funny is that I don't even remember his name. Oh, Gore, Al Gore. And Al Gore, he was pushing the global warming. But now that it's so cold in so many places, they were trying to explain the reason why the cold has to get rid of global warming, turn to climate change. So no one talks about global warming any longer. Whereas we're dealing with a heat wave right now. It's 47 degrees in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and I'm right next to the water. So right next to the water in Red Hook should be maybe 30, right? Between 35 and 29. But just the other day we had 5 and 7 degrees. So it's very interesting how what's the word? It's very interesting how things change and words change, and it's no longer global warming, it's climate change. Which only proves that climate change, if we look at the way the earth is separated from each other, they say we were all together and now we're broken off into different continents. I think that climate change has been around quite some time, but I know that's not a popular belief. Everyone wants to believe in how we're destroying each other and we're destroying ourselves, even though they've proven that every person in the world can get, is it a half acre or a quarter acre of land in the one state of Texas, and how all of our garbage in the world could fit in like something the size of like 3 or 4 Central Parks. We can keep filling that up, and it's not as, the earth isn't as populated, nor are we having that, although they say animals, the farm of cows and the farm animals are creating, like destroying the ozone. And anyway, it's just so much. She was talking about him having, SDE, that's the smoothie energy, and it was kind of funny, and she got him really good. He's bragging about his cars and how much he's destroying the environment with his 16 cylinders and 12 cylinders and there's 32 cars. And then she came back at him about his small D energy. And it was really cool. You know, for hers to be given, or one of her handlers, or could this all be some sort of ruse? And it's just we all just enthralled by what's going on right now. So that's why the person on this talked about Greta and Gunther. But I have to tell you, I'm so distracted from the actual video because, like, why would Andrew invite this dude to his home? Why would Andrew's brother get so irritated by this guy and Andrew not say, like, why wouldn't Andrew respect his brother's wishes? Let's get to that, and then I'll tell you what my thoughts on that.
And yeah, this guy kind of tricked Andrew Tate, and you can see that even in the clip that's posted of the trailer. It says there's a clear narrative. One of his associates says that, and he kicks off as well.
Andrew's invited his mate on our show without my consent. This guy's in our house without my consent, so
the guy who said this, Andrew has invited this guy into our house without my consent. That's Andrew's brother. Andrew's brother is telling his brother in the first person, third person, and he's just like, why did Andrew invite this guy? So there's a guy sitting in between them. That's the guy who's in the picture in the thumbnail. I couldn't get his brother in. It didn't work out for me. Sorry about that. But Andrew Tate's brother is saying, like, yo, why are you inviting this guy into our house without my permission? Like, why is this person here on our podcast? And Andrew now speaks.
Folk singer. He's amazing. Matt Shea. I'm just gonna have to bite my tongue and listen to you guys talk most of this emergency meeting. Otherwise, I'm gonna walk off. So, Matt, can you introduce yourself?
So it's an emergency podcast that they're having. The brother's not into it. Andrew is saying this guy is like an amazing folk singer. And his brother's very, very irritated, smoking a cigar, and is saying that he's going to back down from the conversation. He doesn't even want to be part of it. He just...
About your singing career, tell him where you're from, etc.
Yeah, so I'm actually not a folk singer at all in the slightest. No, sorry.
What? Are you calling my brother a liar? You lied to me.
Yes.
He's been on this podcast for 1 minute. He's already calling you a liar. You lied to me to get into my house. You said you're a folk singer and you're going to sing to the world.
No, the truth is I'm actually here to make a documentary about for Vice, and I'm just here to observe and listen and learn the Tate way.
I thought you were a singer, my friend. Now I'm extremely disappointed. I thought you were useless as an individual, but you could sing. But now that that's gone, what do you have left? Do something. Show a talent. Show the people. Do something.
So Andrew is berating this man. It's obvious that he knew that this is a guy who was working for Vice. And the guy was probably trying to get a meeting, and one guy called another guy, they called another guy, they called another guy. Andrew does not include his brother in this conversation. And then out of nowhere, when Andrew finally finishes, yeah, the person is like, dude, the guy's in Romania for the last 3 days. Come on. Guy's gonna have to go back, Andrew. Please. He's a good guy. Andrew looks up his name, and there's probably a folk singer by that name. So he wants the guy to know that he doesn't even know who you are. When I listen, the guy's got to leave. He's got to come back to the States, man. He's there in Romania. Come on. Let him come. Let him just sit. Let him watch you talk. When's your next podcast? When are you going to go live? Let him just hang out with you guys for a little while. This is going to be a good thing, Andrew. It's going to be a good thing. People need to know the true you, the real you. They trust this guy. They call him back. Andrew, he got to leave in the morning. He's got to get out of there in the morning. Can you please? Come on. And he picks up the phone this time and he says, okay, tell him to come over. So 20, 30 minutes before the guy comes over, he's telling his brother, like, yo, let's do a pod. Let's pod real quick. And his brother's like, yeah, bet, let's pod. And he's like, yo, I got this guy coming by. He's gonna pod with us. He's just gonna sit around. Some loser from Vice. And his brother's like, yo, dude, why we don't deal with Vice? You know, Vice is the. He's like, yeah, I know, but I kind of promised somebody, and I've been kind of stringing them along, and now this is his last day here. He's got to, his visa, or he just got to go. He can't stay any longer. And I've been meaning to tell you about it. I really was gonna blow him off. I didn't think they were serious. So now his brother's pissed off. His brother is pissed. And his brother's like, yo, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Like, all right, I'll do it. So the guy's ringing the doorbell. It was probably 10 minutes. Andrew told him about this douchebag that was sitting in Romania waiting for him to get to him. They're on the phone. They're making the connections. They got all the people. They just begging. Now he has to go back. So out of nowhere, they do an emergency pod. This guy is sitting there. Andrew is berating him. The way he's made him wait for all those days out there in Romania. He might have been out there in Romania for a week. Their budget is over budget on this guy interviewing Andrew. Andrew was just in Dubai 2 days before that. This guy was probably sitting there in Romania waiting for Andrew to come from Dubai. And before that, Andrew was in London. So Andrew was in London, Dubai, makes it back to Romania, and this guy is like, just imagine if you're this journalist and Vice sends you to Romania, and right before your flight, Andrew agrees, but yet you've been sitting there for 7 days, getting the runaround. This is the same guy. Yeah, the live chat. Thank you. And I mean, so I'm giving you a scenario. A realistic scenario, because this is the same guy who works for Vice that is doing the piece with the girl who is saying that Andrew punched her in the arm, that Andrew didn't pay her properly, that Andrew demanded sex from her and wasn't very nice to her. This is her claims. So now we got to look at this and we got to say to ourselves, thank you, everyone. I appreciate everyone who's come through. Hit that like button. You are appreciated. Let me just keep playing it. But I just kind of want to give you a scenario of this person that's possibly the person who's pushing the same way they were pushing for these other celebrities to go down, the same way they got Kevin is out of here. I would argue that reality itself had to get Kevin out of here. Reality itself had to get him out of here because he was changing the black woman's mind faster than anyone else could ever. Kevin Samuels was branching away from just the black woman and the world. Remember when the girl called from Thailand and she was just like, you got to be careful with those LGBTs. They love drama. Single women need to stay away from that drama. He's like, all right, lady, let me let you go. He was getting huge. Reality itself had to correct itself. So now we got this guy here, this journalist. Brother did not know he was coming. Andrew throws this guy on him on some whim. Last minute, and it was tacky. And it reminds me of my children. My children, it's like my son, anyone who knows me, my son had that little thing with that girl. And he was 11, she was 14. There was a lot of drama because he lied about his age, all that kind of stuff. We all know about that. Whoever's been following me. And my son was like, yo, dad, she wants to be my friend. What do you think? And I was just like, I'm always going to agree with you, but you are very much appreciate. I don't always agree with you. Thank you, Steve. And I appreciate you not agreeing with me. You see, the Premium Black News Channel, we're not there to agree with each other. To use our life experiences and what we know, be it some maybe very anecdotal and not a lot of sources, but we are also doing hot topics. So, but let me tell you, when it comes to the doc and it comes to Ulrich, we got guys that can pull sources that you have no idea. I got the cream of the crop here. Respectfully, we're dumbing it down. And I say that respectfully because I love you. We have to come at you where you're going to like, what are they doing? So now, Andrew Tate, his brother, this guy, my son, that says the little girl want to be his friend again. So I asked his sister, what do you think about that? Because they were with me all day today. I had the kids all day today, doing errands, getting it done. Me and the kids. Wifey, holding it down. And you guys who know me know what that's all about. So now, she says that she doesn't think that's a good idea for her brother to be with this girl. And I'm like, well, okay. And I was just like, why not? And she says that she gives 4 or 5 reasons. Sound, articulate reasons. And this is a 10-year-old girl talking to a 12-year-old boy. And the 10-year-old girl is telling him that her inner knowing, what she knows, her inner knowing and her true self is saying that this girl is going to be a problem. This girl is not somebody you need to be friends with. This girl is not honest, and you shouldn't even spend any time with this person because her brother and sister don't like you because they all found out that my son lied and he said he was older in order to get the 14-year-old girl, and he was only 11. Now he's 12. And, he's taller than everybody. He's real athletic, gorgeous, all that kind of stuff. So that's all getting in the way of, like these girls, they don't see a kid till they're 15 look the way he looks. So we're dealing with that right now. And I told my brother, I was like, I told my son, I said, listen, how do you feel about what your sister had to say? He was like, I don't know. And I was like, do you think she's throwing you sauce? Like she doesn't like the girl? You think, do you trust what she says? And he was like, I guess. And I was like, well, you have to. Because if your sister is telling you that her inner knowing is telling her something about this person that she don't like, then you stay away from that person. And I told my daughter, and that goes for you too. If your brother says, I'm not feeling this person, this is not a good look for you, I want you to respect that and really, truly, truly learn to be that team that respects each other's gut feeling. No one here has to be the leader when it comes to that. And they were like, okay. So hopefully my son gets it and he stays away from this young lady. But I did tell him this. If you can get that young lady's father's okay, or have this lady's father come talk to me, but you need to talk to her father, and you have to tell her father, like, I would like to be, not but sir, mister, my name is such and such. I come from the such and such family down the block, and I like your daughter, and I would like us to be friends. Are you cool with that? And if that happens like that, then I'm kind of all for it. But I'm not for my son being friends with this little girl, and if her father's down the block, no, don't say nothing. I don't want my father to know that, I got a friend, because, I read all their, when I found out about the relationship, I read all of the 200 text messages a day, okay, all that craziness they were texting. They wasn't texting nothing really, really under their clothes. They weren't talking under their clothes or anything like that, which is good. And they were, it was like puppy love, it was beautiful. But she was lying to her father. He was running to walk her to school or, catch up with her, meet up with her in the store. It was a lot of drama. But what it's also, it's been a life experience. This is what happens when you give your kids bikes and you say, listen, go hit the road and make sure you got your helmet on, or go to this park. Because I like my son to go to the parks, all parks, because I want him, his basketball game is so good. I don't want him to just get stuck in like in one little area with the one same people. I need you to understand diversity and different ways people interact in different parks. So I give my kids a lot of freedom. They're like they're running, not running, but they're on their bikes. And now they're doing the scooters. Now Madison she's on the skateboard, he's on the scooter. He's flipping the scooter around and doing all those. He's getting really good. I just actually bought him. That box right there is his scooter, his new scooter. We just got him. Anyway, I digress from all that. I just want you to know that what you're getting from me is life experience. When I talk about Andrew Tate disrespecting his brother, and his brother had that inner knowing, is what I'm teaching my children. Because when I'm not around and daddy's not around, you better know that you have each other's intuitions to really push you through and push you forward. All right, so let me continue. Sorry.
If you're not useless, go.
I make documentaries. Sorry, you'll see when the film comes out.
Lame. Do a poll, Tristan. Is anybody impressed by Matt Shea?
Okay, poll.
Let's find out if anybody's impressed by Matt Shea.
Is Matt impressive?
The answer is no. You're out. Why do you want to do a video on us? Tell us what's so interesting about Top G, most compendious, richest trillionaire, kickboxing world champion, sexy, tall, smart, rich. I mean, why am I so interesting? Please humor me.
I want to do a documentary about the phenomenon that is you and your brother, because so many people, especially men, seem to really like what you're saying and follow you. And I just want to find out what's behind your philosophy and what makes you tick. And
do you like what I say?
You know that I don't agree with a lot of things that you say, but I think you're a sweet guy on the inside.
What would you do if a yoga fired you?
If you what?
Yoga fire.
How would you deal with that?
He could shoot fire from his hands.
How would you deal with that?
If you actually sprayed fire out of your hands?
Yoga fire. Well, how would you handle that?
So again, what this looks like is very similar to what happened with the Lifetime Network takedown of R. Kelly, and then after that Lifetime movie or Lifetime documentary on R. Kelly, we saw the state of Illinois press charges, we saw the U.S. government press charges, and then that was the end of R. Kelly. What my predictions are going to be like this, right? Andrew Tate getting this sort of heat and stuff like this, number one is going to get him out of Romania. That's number one. Romania, he'll soon be either deported or have to leave because of the bad press he's getting. Now, he's a little bit too obnoxious because, as you know, to invite the guy into your house that's going to do a documentary on you that makes you look like somebody in a negative fashion is just plain out outright stupid to me. And again, we don't even know that whoever this lady is, if this is a real person, she's not showing her face.
Right.
They could make this up completely and this could be completely false.
Right.
Again, there are no criminal charges. She's not showing her name. She's not showing her identity. We don't know who this person is. But then again, I want to talk about, trying to be a guy that's tied up in the webcam industry and having a voice like he does, because let me tell you something. There are no men's rights groups that are going to come and help Andrew Tate. We all know that. Okay,
Facts.
men can be in your comment sections all day, and nothing. Men are just. Let's be real. There are no laws on the books that will help you against feminism. Not at this point. We're still working on it. So here's my option. All right. Instead of saying the things you want to say to women and guys, I feel in many ways some of the same frustrations that you guys have. All right. I have similar frustrations with certain things I see. Whether it's in the black community or with certain women, I see it. But here's the thing that you gotta understand. Just because you see it, don't mean you gotta get out there and talk about it. I've made that mistake, and then once you put it out there, you can't take it back. Here's the new options, guys. Chicks alone. Okay? You have to leave them alone. That's the only option, guys. It's the only option. Without saying it, let me say it to you now. Okay? Anytime you try the only way you're going to things change, men are being is number one, and number one do business and develop is to have the power. And then raising the standard of what those women need to be in those communities and then kicking them out if they don't go by the standards.
That we need to, these gentlemen Oh no, it's like I was like on the math for show, the podcast. He's saying um that once he heard that Bugger wasn't, they were dealing with, with the P. You have to think about the people you could have killed. Damage that you said that, and also interesting. The guy was wearing an Averex jacket, so Troy Adams, Todd, or English is making that Averex. Thinking about them and the damage is making that Averex. Thinking about them and the damage that you're causing. I've got says you can teach me about. I've got says you can teach me about. If it is caused to, it's causing damage. If you teach me, take off this jacket, burn jacket. Very simple. I'm on fish business with that right now. Really, we can see the problem. Sorry about that. How interesting, the signal is so trash right now. I'm gonna have to go back up the block. Where the signal is popping. There I am. I apologize for all of this laggy Wi-Fi. And yes, I did buy a Wi-Fi little machine and stuff like that. And business is very slow in the tri-state area. There's so much competition out here. There's so much competition out here. So many of the people that would take risk and didn't take chance, and a lot of them are college educated, articulate, and they know all the courses. There's a lot of competition. But thank goodness I've been doing this long enough, and I have the clients that have bought into me. What you have bought into me? Leave these women alone. The women that Kevin Samuels, the women that Andrew Tate and his brother, all these women, we have to leave them alone. Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels have left us a print. We don't need, we don't have to jump in a plane and start writing for Andrew Tate. No, we don't need to do that. What we need to do is we need to stop messing with these women. Stop allowing this mentality, this way of thinking to, the stream is horrible, my brother. I know. I'm in Red Hook. Red Hook is the place to be to do these streams, but I'm saying 10 extra gigs. No. I promise. Let's hear the last of this here before, you kind of know where I'm going here. Anyone to be with the king. We don't need anyone to be our, who else is, Rosa Parks and all this kind of stuff. Because we will win. Because the market, it's like the market sets the price. And it's like, we're an arrow. I refer to her as the mother of the 304s. She spoke to it. She said, who you mad? You sound mad. Mad at the consumer? So we are the consumer, and we need to wake up. Because these men that keep coming forward and keep stepping up, all the men that are stepping up again, they're getting brought down. The system, and that is the feminization of the man. Like the doc said, it ain't just the black man, it's the white. Oh, blah. This should be good. You appreciate it. Okay. Let's finish playing this.
You can change the laws. But when men don't own anything, and especially in the black community, that's true, you can't come out and have that particular voice because they have all the look. You know how many people are so sympathetic to women? They have all the networks. Women have a lot of money. They spend money. They're the biggest marketing ploy. You're not going to be able to come and win a debate with women like that or arguments. Even if you win, they're going to make you look bad, make you look evil. So with you knowing that, then the best thing that you have to do is to look at the opportunities you have, and then men must talk to each other about women, certain things we don't like about that, and then take action to improve our lives while leaving them alone. Because you're seeing what they're doing to Andrew Tate right now. They're going to try to make this.
He says we got to leave them alone, right? And he says that we need to talk amongst men, and that's what I do all the time. You see where my dispensary is parked, right? A lot of times I have it by the pier. The pier's so quiet, I don't even have it there. I have the dispensary more by the stores, on the avenue where the stores are. So now, while I'm outside the dispensary, I get to talk to people all the time. And let me tell you, these women in Red Hook, oh my God, they're not like the black woman or the very attractive white woman that they hit that wall and they don't bounce back and they angry at the world. No. These women here in Red Hook are different. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I will watch the playback later, please. Peace. Yeah. It's so trash. Zach Lee, I see you going in on somebody over here. I just made this homosexual janitor restream my life 3 hours. Yeah, I saw that title earlier and I couldn't. I didn't have a chance to check it out. Was that the Street Fighter? Yes, that was a Street Fighter move I made. Steven, thank you. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. And don't forget the Cash App is $ Elvis Rosenberg. And the Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg. I appreciate you all who's been, utilizing that feature. But let me say this to you. O'Shea is so right. We as men, because I'm out here and I'm talking to the people, wherever the dispensary is, and these women here, these are like, they're all 5s. You might have one once in a blue moon, there's a 6. But she's like visiting her 5 friends. But all the women here make 100,000. All the men here make 100,000. And minimum. And they're basically all, this is like the land of the 5s. Red Hook. Nothing wrong with that. These are just the reality, but they figured it out. They're not waiting for like an alpha man that's going to take care of them. No, hell no. They got a man that they can control. They got a man who's bought into feminism. If you believe that a happy wife is a happy life, and they let them know from the beginning, like, if this is what you believe, a happy wife, happy life. All right, and their whole thing is all these men here are in the feminine. And there's not very, very, very few masculine men in this neighborhood. There's a few, and the ones that are here that are masculine, they're visiting friends, or they maybe own some of the buildings. They might be from Massachusetts. They think they're real tough. Those Massachusetts guys, they all think they tough, but they ain't never met an articulate, educated, like, black man who gives them eye contact. They're pudding in the hands of that man. So it's a great place. You guys, black people with money, come to Red Hook. It's popping over here. So now I digress from that. But let me just say that these women have figured it out. They marrying all these dudes. They are marrying all these men, but the men have to believe in feminism. There was a young guy I met recently by the dispensary, and he said, over the summer, and he was saying how, yeah, my partner this and my partner that and my partner this and my partner that. And I was like, what about your partner? Like, what do you mean your partner? And he was like, yeah. I said, wait, you're talking about a heterosexual relationship, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, when I was coming up, the partner was something you called when it was the same sex marriage and the same sex thing. And you're telling me that your woman is your partner? So that's the guy that these women are gonna marry. These women that's okay. What's wrong, babe? You can always interrupt. Come on. Hey, baby. I'm distracted by my beautiful wife. Well, she better listen to her daddy. Because I told her when I first met her, I said, I can't be your father, but I can definitely be your daddy. So I'm gonna be finishing up really quickly. Andrew Tate, and didn't respect his brother, so I'm recapping. Andrew Tate didn't respect his brother. He sideswiped him with an interview to the same person who's interviewing the young lady who's making allegations against him. There's been tweets about the United States government wanting Andrew Tate, wanting the Romanian government to arrest him. They don't care if he's guilty or not guilty. They want him arrested. They want him out of here. It's too powerful. Like Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate has pushed the needle. He's pushed he's this guy's no joke. So now what O'Shea Duke Jackson is saying is that we need to stop dealing with these women. We need to really, really say to ourselves, we don't need any more cannon fodder from these men. Because even if you can talk to these women over the microphone and debate with them, they're still going to do everything they can to get you out of here. So the best thing to do is talk amongst men. Like the young man I was just talking about a second ago who was talking about his partner. And I was like, dude, that's so foreign to me. Partners have always been reserved to same sex. Now, heterosexual men are talking about their partners or their women. Like, what? So men need to talk to each other. We need to not look for another guy to get taken down when all we can do, and we have the power to just back away from them. Just leave these women alone. Walk away. This is why I'm glad I chose the woman that I did choose. The woman that I did choose knew that she was dealing with a real man. She was dealing with, and it wasn't like alpha man, it was just man. Responsible, dependable people. I was useful to my group in that bar world, and everyone knew and respected, and I was able to step up when I needed to and, put us in a safe situation. And then it was so much that happened that I was able to see, like, this is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. This is the woman I want to have children with. And it's like more men with women that are as boss and as amazing as my woman. And when I say boss, I'm talking about me being with the kids all day, running errands while she held it down. That's like amazing. Yes, she was 19 when I met her. Yes, I was 32 years old. But the reality of it is just that I knew this wasn't a 304. I knew that this is someone with so much potential and so much smarts. I mean, she's a 4.0. Went to the top high school. Super smart. Spoke fluent Japanese when I met her. So it's like there are amazing women out there. You just got to know what to look for. And let me tell you this. Her best friend that she was hanging out with was a 304. And she even bought into that whole concept of it doesn't matter what they do, is what I do. And I don't have, I used to be like, well, you're guilty by association. People are going to look at you and say, this person is maybe not the right one for you. And when you respect your man, you're going to let go of all these kind of things. Even though it did take a long time, but throughout the years, she was able to see that certain friends, they weren't changing. They weren't growing. And this is like this life we give and this life we have. It's so amazing. It's all about doing everything we can to grow. Anyway, I chose the right one. I knew what to look for, though. I wasn't a child. I was successful. And I wasn't gonna big up the woman who just felt like, I don't give a F. I don't give a F. I can do what I want, say what I want. No, you can't. And we're winning because of it. That's a fact. Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, I am here. And I'm thanking you for dealing with this laggy Wi-Fi day. And I will make the adjustments. And I love you.